Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishna Yoma, Parak Beis, Chapter 2, Mishna Daled, Mishna 4. Okay, so we've been discussing until now the lottery system that was used to determine which company would do which one of the services. And when it came to the morning carbon tamid, when it came to the morning daily sacrifice, and would applied also to the evening sacrifice. Now, so we went through the first lottery and the second lottery, and now we're up to the third. Dalet Hapayas Hashlishi, the third lottery. Chadashim Lekteres Boyov Afisu. Literally translated, it means those who are new, Chadashim Lekteres, those who are new to the service of the Kteres, which was the incense that was burned on the Mizbeach, on the altar that was inside of the Beis HaMikdash. Boyov Afisu, come and be part of the lottery. The person was in charge of the lottery. When he was in charge of making sure that everything was taken care of, who got what, to make sure that, all the services were divided up. So he made an announcement before the third one. I believe he made an announcement before every one of them come and be part of the lottery. But when it came to this one, he specifically said the following: Chadoshim, new ones to the Kteres, come and be part of the lottery. That means each new lottery per day, this third one, each day, which was for who would offer the Kteres, which Cohen would be the one who would offer the incense on the altar. Each day, the only ones who could participate in this lottery are people who had never yet performed the Kteres. If you already did it once, you are not allowed to participate in this lottery. That's why it says Chadashim, new ones, Chadashim Kteres, those who are new to the Kteres. That means they've never done it before. Bayu Bafis, who come and participate in the lottery. But if you've done it before, then you can't participate. Why? Because the Bartanur explains that based on the words of the Torah implies that if you offer the Kteres, you're going to become rich.
Yeah,
and therefore, you already had a chance to be rich? Give somebody else a chance. Give somebody else a turn. So therefore, the announcement was, that when they announced to make this third lottery, the announcement was very specific. Chadashim Kteres. If you're new to the Kteres, then you participate. Varavi. And when it came to the fourth lottery, Chadashim Yeshanim. This time, the person making the announcement said, Chadashim Yeshanim, new and old. Meaning the last one he specified new, so this one he said new and old, everybody. Mimala Eivarim in Akevish Mizbeach. Who is going to bring up the limbs from the ramp to the altar? Now, as we mentioned a couple of times before, after the animal for the carbon tamid for the daily sacrifice was shechted, it was cut up into pieces. And those pieces would eventually be brought to the top of the mizbeach, to the top of the altar, and put on the fire. But that wasn't done right away. Actually, they would cut up the animal, and then the Kohanim would bring the pieces and put it on the kevesh, on the ramp leading up to the mizbeach. And we had a discussion. It was like for halfway down, from halfway to the altar and down. That's where they set up these limbs. They would actually then go and say Shema, because it was too early to actually offer the limbs. And then they would bring it up. So now the fourth lottery is Mimala Eivar Min HaKevesh V'la Mizbeach. Okay, who's going to now bring it up? It's already been, they already were placed on the kevesh, waiting for the time to be brought up to the altar. Now, the fourth lottery it was time to bring it up to put on the fire. Mimala Eivar Min HaKevesh V'la Mizbeach, who would bring up the limbs from the ramp to the Mizbeach, meaning to actually put it on the fire. Now, last time we learned that the number of Kohanim that were involved in bringing the pieces bringing the pieces onto the kevesh, onto the ramp, their number was 6. There were 6 of them that were involved. So now when it came to bringing them up from the ramp onto the fire, how many people were involved? It's a new lottery, right? It's not the same ones. If you were dealing with the same ones as before, you wouldn't need a fourth lottery. So it wasn't the same ones. So now it was a new lottery. Who was going to bring it up? How many people were involved in that? Mishna doesn't say. So here they bring down in the notes that although 6 Kohanim carried the limbs to the lower half of the altar, only one Kohen took them from there and cast them onto the fire. That's what Rashi says. Rashi and Yuma says. Rashi in the Gemara Yuma says This one was one person doing them all. Now, what's interesting to note is that the fact that we didn't go ahead and use the same 6 to bring this up. We made another lottery to include someone else involved. The reason we're doing that is because we have a principle, B'roiv Am Hadras Melech. The more people involved in serving Hashem, the greater the honor. And therefore, this was not just done by the same people as before, but we included someone else because the more people involved, the more honor that is to the Rebbeinu Shalom. So they made a 4th lottery, but according to what Rashi here brings down, Rashi rather, it was only one person. It was 6 people who brought it up to the ramp, but one person took it from the ramp to the fire. Amir Hashem, tomorrow when we learn the next Mishnah, they bring down here in the notes that the next Mishnah disagrees. I'm not sure what the basis for that is right now, but that's because the next Mishnah disagrees that it wasn't just one person bringing it up, that it was more than one person. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.